Dennis, welcome to Simplifying. Would you just tell us about your new role at Cathay Pacific?
Sure. I have been in Hong Kong about 10 months and in charge of brand and social media. So it's been a quite busy 10 months with the refresh of the brand. And I'm just now starting to focus a bit more on the social media side.
Right. But you've been with Cathay Pacific for over 20 years, isn't it?
29 years.
That's fantastic. Not many airline folks can say that.
No.
And is
At
this...
Cathay you can though. I am not uncommon.
Wow. That talks, I guess, about the brand itself. Now, you mentioned brand refresh. Can you just tell us a little about that?
Sure. It's been probably about 20 years since we really looked at the brand, and we felt it was time to really take a look at that from the customer touchpoints and all of the customer touchpoints, from the websites to the airports to the lounges to the in-flight experience. So it really started last fall with the launch of the website, and that's where you saw the refreshed logo come out. And over the next year and a half, you'll start to see more customer touch points with the brand refresh. There'll be new signage at the airport coming out later this year. New designs around the lounges. Our first one with the new brand design was in Haneda, and that opened at the end of last year. And it's quite a stunning lounge, and you'll start to see that type of atmosphere as we refresh and open up other lounges around the system.
Right. And you'd earlier mentioned Life Well Traveled. Is that part of the new brand rollout campaign as well?
Yeah, it's all tied together. It's been about 4 or 5 years since we've had a different brand campaign. We had people in service in the past, and that was great while it was there. But it was time for a change, and we wanted to look at, again, that customer experience holistically. And we asked ourselves the question, why do we do what we do? As an airline, why do we do what we do? And it's really about helping people to travel well, to live well, and having great experiences when they travel, and being part, and having the airline being part of the overall journey when people are going on trips, whether it's for business or pleasure.
So what's the essence of Life Well Traveled then?
I think it's really about traveling well and living well and having really good experiences when you travel, and having that experience extend to the journey. You know, we're an airline, but we don't want to be the airline that just gets you to a destination just from point A to point B. We want to be part of that overall journey, that experience when you're traveling.
Right.
And so you'll walk away from a trip and having this great memory of a trip to a destination that includes Cathay Pacific.
Right. Can you run us through some of the interesting executions you've done around this campaign? Because we've seen a lot of assets come out on social media, on traditional channels as well.
Yeah, we used social media quite heavily this time, more so than anything in the past. We have a content hub that has Life Well Traveled information on there, from videos to user-generated content. We've got stories from our own staff about how they enable our customers to travel well. And then we've talked to our key customers, our Marco Polo members. And these are people that we've known for years. And I think being in Hong Kong, I've met some of the Marco Polo members. And many of these people have been flying with us for 25, 30 years. So we went to them and asked them, what does traveling well mean to you? And of course they've got stories and lots to share. So the content is around all of that. It also centers around 3 videos, 3 60-second videos. The first one is, we call it the Road Warrior, and it's really about the frequent business traveler. That's still our core audience. That's where our advertising has always been established in the past, so we didn't want to move too far away from them. And I like that video because it's realistic. We're not portraying travel in this really romantic way. I mean, traveling is fun, but it's also hard, it's challenging, it's hectic. So I think you get that sense when you see that video. And then the second video is the family, and that's really about family travel, but it's also, that ties into our frequent business traveler as well, because they travel with family and friends and partners. And then the last one is the one we're branching out a bit differently than we have in the past, and that's called Misadventure. And that's a great video, and we're really targeting that millennial generation that wants to go out and discover the world and see things and travel in style.
Right, that's fantastic. Now, one of the things I noticed, because we are connected on LinkedIn,
Yes.
is that you did a few personal posts, I believe 3 personal LinkedIn posts. Was that part of the strategy, or was that something spontaneous you did?
Do you know what? That was spontaneous, and I've never really written before, but I think I use my own social media channels as it's one big experiment. What resonates with people? What's interesting to people? So when we were looking at the whole Life Will Travel concept, I was there in the beginning when we first talked about it, and I thought I really had a deep knowledge of it and talking about that and thinking about that personal experience. So I wrote about that as a way to help people understand that we do want to be part of that overall journey, part of the memories of travel, and that's why I wrote that. And I was quite surprised how many people actually have read that, and even LinkedIn reached out and noticed that it was trending.
Right.
So yeah, it's been fun.
Right. No, that's surely a good personal touch. Now, surely emotional connections and storytelling seems to be the core
Yes.
themes of this campaign. What are the other core business goals you're looking to drive from Life Well Traveled?
Well, I think we also want to expand who we're talking to, and using social media to reach out to new audiences. Like I said, frequent business traveler is still important to us, but we want to reach out to a younger generation, that millennial traveler is starting to go around the world. Those are our future travelers. Those are our future Marco Polo members that are traveling on business. So it's time to reach out to them.
Right. And is this something that's kickstarting your new social media strategy for Cathay Pacific as well?
Yes, I think one thing I'm really focusing on is looking at social media holistically. And in this particular campaign, I think it's really the first time that we cross-pollinated across all of the channels, and Instagram and Pinterest. Those are the newest channels. Certainly we've used Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. And while we cross-pollinated, we also targeted what we did. For example, with our Marco Polo members, the key customers, we used that information, that content to focus on LinkedIn. Whereas Misadventure video, for example, we put that on Facebook and Twitter, and then on Pinterest there's a section there around Life Well Traveled as well.
Right, and what are the core metrics you've been targeting? Is it hits to the website, is it just video views, or even bookings perhaps?
It's all of that. It's still early days. I'm waiting for some of the statistics to come in, but I mean I can tell you that for Instagram, for example, we've grown that in the last 2 months by 150%.
Wow.
I think the video views are up to 7 million between YouTube and Facebook. So we've gotten some really good information, and the LinkedIn content has performed quite well as well.
No, that's fantastic. So, given that this is a great start, where do you see Cathay Pacific's brand and social media business going in the next 2 to 5 years, perhaps?
Well, I think the great thing about Life Well Traveled, it's very rich, it's very deep. So there's different angles that we can explore, and I think you'll start to see some new directions as we progress. Don't know what those are yet because we're in the first stage of that, but certainly I think this will be around for 3 or 4 years, and I think you'll see us using our social channels a lot more to reach out to customers. One thing that I'm looking at in terms of the business is this whole social business strategy, and where social media falls, not just in marketing, but how can we use it to recruit people? How do we use it in terms of our website and collaborating together with the social media team, for example? Let's say we've got on our website, we've got this rich imagery around destinations. So if they're focusing on the Cherry Blossom Festival in Japan, for example, then we as a social media group should be talking about that too. So it's really about coordinating our efforts.
Right. How big is the social media team right now? You mentioned
We're not
group.
that big.
Yeah.
It's me and there's 4 other people.
Right.
So
And I'm guessing with the growth, there are plans to grow that team, or?
I would hope so. Because they focus both on digital and social. So it's not like I have one person that just does social right now.
Right.
I think as we grow and we look at this whole social business strategy, that will probably change over time.
Okay, fantastic. Well, this is exciting stuff coming from Cathay's Kitty, Life Well Traveled, the social business strategy. Thanks for sharing us with us the insights, and we wish you all the best, Dennis.
All right, well, thank you very much.